Okay, so picture this. You're really into your favorite show, right? And maybe you see this amazing vintage jacket, or I don't know, a piece of furniture that's just perfect for your place.
Or maybe even a landscape, that view that makes you think, wow, I need to go there.
Exactly. And normally you'd have to pause, grab your phone, maybe fumble with search terms. It's a whole process. You might find it, you might not.
Yeah, it breaks the moment completely.
But what if?
Yeah.
What if you just noticed it? Maybe said something quiet, like under your breath,
Yeah.
and the rest just happened. No clicks, no shopping carts. It's just thought.
It does still have that ring of, science fiction, doesn't it? A little
A
bit.
little, yeah.
But that incredibly smooth, almost invisible way of getting things. Well, that's exactly the future of commerce we're going to dive into today. You're basing this on a really interesting source.
What have we got?
It's an article called Ambient Commerce is Here. No clicks, no carts, just bought by D.D. Jane.
Okay, ambient commerce. So our mission here is to really unpack that. What is it? How's it supposed to work? And I think most importantly, what could it actually mean for you?
Right, whether you're thinking about how you shop yourself or maybe how you create things others might buy or just, where this is all going.
Because the author, they're not talking distant future here. They flat out state that's the system already live.
That line really hits, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It grounds the whole thing, not 2050, but like now. The foundations are here. Some parts are already working.
So let's get into that core idea then. Ambient commerce. What's the definition according to the source?
Okay, so think of it as buying that happens contextually. It's almost instinctive, and it's heavily powered by AI. It's really about dissolving all those traditional shopping steps.
Letting it just flow within whatever you're already doing.
Exactly, just happening fluidly in your environment.
The article uses a great example to make this feel real, doesn't it? The Emily in Paris one.
Oh yeah, that one's perfect. It puts you right there.
Wow.
Watching the show, you spot Emily wearing this, like, amazing vintage Chanel jacket.
And your first thought, your instinct is just to whisper, find me that in my size.
Mm-hmm. And the scenario in the source isn't you pausing, grabbing your phone, opening an app. None of that.
No friction.
Right. It's described as your voice assistant. Maybe it's always kind of listening, just picking up that natural phrase. It figures out the jacket, checks if it's available in your size, sorts the payment using your saved details, arranges delivery.
Wow.
And the article basically says, look, this kind of integrated buying triggered by voice and vision, technically, it's already possible, at least in some form.
Okay, so it's way beyond just like making checkout easier. It feels like it changes the actual start of the whole process, the trigger.
That's a great way to put it. Instead of deciding, I need to go shopping now, shopping just meets you right there in that flicker of desire.
And the source mentions some specific tech making this possible from Google's I/O event 2025.
Yeah, it highlights a few key developments, kind of the building blocks for this ambient world. One is agentic checkout.
Sounds fancy. What is it?
It basically means AI acting for you, completing purchases based on rules you've set up beforehand. Like, you could tell it, hey, if my favorite coffee pods drop below 10 quid, buy 2 boxes.
Ah, okay. So it's like setting up a little shopping bot for yourself. Proactive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A big leap in automation. Then there's full-body virtual try-ons.
Oh, I've seen bits about this.
Yeah. You upload your picture, and you can virtually wear clothes, accessories, whatever. Gives you a much better idea of fit and style than just looking at photos.
Takes away a big gamble in online shopping.
Huge. And imagine combining that with spotting something in a video.
Suddenly you could virtually try on the exact thing you just saw on screen.
Precisely. And the third bit of tech they mentioned is conversational search.
Moving beyond keywords.
Totally. You can ask for things using natural language. Describe a mood, a scene, a vibe. Find me an outfit that feels like a rainy Paris afternoon. Or show me chairs like the one in that coffee shop scene.
That's completely different. It's feeling-based, context-based, not just data points.
Yeah.
So putting these together, these tools aren't just saving a few clicks.
Not at all. The source argues the real kicker is that they rewire our behavior. We've spent decades learning. Want something, stop, go search, find it.
Right. It's a separate action.
Ambient commerce lets the buying happen inside that moment of inspiration. You see it, you want it, the system helps you get it, boom. Minimal effort, instantly.
That sounds, it's revolutionary, definitely, but maybe also a bit dangerous for the impulse buys, making it too easy.
It definitely brings up some interesting questions, for sure. And the article maps out where this ambient commerce is likely to pop up.
Where are we talking?
Within streaming TV shows, maybe even podcasts like this one. In our smart homes, baked into social media feeds, happening just through conversations,
Mm.
all driven by voice tech, computer vision, and those big AI language models.
When you list it like that,
Yeah.
yeah, the old way, going to websites, filling up a cart, clicking through checkout pages, it really does start to feel, like the source says, slow, clunky, and obsolete.
The difference is pretty stark, and it leads to this really powerful point the article makes, especially if you sell anything.
What's that?
Your main competition. It isn't just the other brand with a similar widget. Your real competitors are moments.
Moments. Wow. Explain that.
If you can't be right there, discoverable and ready to transact, in that split second someone feels that spark of, ooh, I want that, you've basically lost the moment
Your
passes.
competitors are moments.
Yeah,
That's a big
yeah.
mental shift. So what does that actually mean for a business beyond the catchphrase?
It means you stop focusing solely on driving people to your shop or site. Instead, you focus on making sure your product, your service, can be found and bought within the places people are actually feeling inspired or needing something.
Like within the stream itself.
Exactly. The article mentions Prime Video and Amazon MGM are already tagging actors and items, so you can get info instantly.
Right. I've seen that. Learn about the actor, maybe the designer.
But the next step is making that link directly to buy. The source says, think bigger. Imagine watching a travel show and just clicking or whispering to book the actual hotel you're seeing on screen.
Or home design show and adding that lamp right from the scene to your cart.
Yeah. Or back to Emily, shopping her whole look from a scene, not just the jacket. The article insists these aren't just wild ideas, they're already arriving.
Okay, so if where and when we shop is changing so fundamentally, how does the article see this shaking up different industries? I mentioned commerce, fintech, media.
Right. For commerce itself, the game changes from optimizing that step-by-step funnel to orchestrating the spark.
Orchestrating the spark. I like that.
Brands need to be machine readable. AI needs to understand what your product is, what it offers, what it looks like. Inventory needs to be synced up in real time.
So the system knows if it's actually there to buy.
Crucial. And brands need to be behavior aware, ready for that ambient trigger. The warning in the article is pretty direct.
Right.
If your product can't be bought mid-show or mid-scroll, you're basically invisible.
Invisible if you miss the moment. Okay. What about fintech? The article said wallets disappear, but fintech's role multiplies. How does that work?
Well, think about it. The shopper doesn't see the wallet step, right? It's frictionless.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, the financial tech becomes even more vital and complex.
Oh, okay.
Payments have to be embedded, totally seamless. Things like buy now, pay later. They need to work instantly too, no separate application breaking the flow. And maybe most importantly, fraud detection has to be working constantly, invisibly, super fast, vetting all these quick buys.
So the complexity moves backstage.
Exactly. The article calls fintech the real-time risk whisperer, working unseen to enable it all.
Makes sense. Simpler front, much smarter back. And for media and entertainment, that phrase was striking. Every scene is a store.
Yeah, that's huge. It suggests streaming platforms won't just license stories anymore. They might license specific product, skews the actual items on screen.
So product placement becomes
That's
active.
potentially dynamic, even personalized. Maybe AI inserts products relevant to you in real time. Imagine seeing a character use something you actually need and buying that exact thing instantly.
Whoa! From passive ad to active shopping channel, and if the user interface is fading away, this age of zero UI, the article talks about, what happens to brand experience if people aren't visiting your homepage?
Zero UI.
Hmm.
Yeah, meaning less clicking on screens, more interaction through voice, gestures, just context. The article says, forget optimizing the homepage. Your product has to be ready to respond instantly
Respond to what, though?
to those different triggers, a voice command. Someone pinning your item to a digital mood board. Even, as they dramatically put it, a living room whisper.
A living room whisper.
The point is, people shop based on inspiration. The article says, instantly, emotionally, irrationally. So the best brands, they don't just show up when you type a keyword. They need to respond to that spark.
Respond to the feeling, the moment. Okay. That's a different way for brands to think about getting noticed. So given all this massive shift, the article actually gives some concrete steps, right? Aimed at leaders, but useful for anyone.
Absolutely. Actionable stuff.
Yeah.
Step 1. Make your product AI discoverable.
What does that involve, practically?
Using really rich metadata so AI understands everything about your product, keeping inventory perfectly synced in real time, and having clear, high-quality visuals so computer vision AI can actually recognize your product if it sees it somewhere.
Right. If the AI can't properly see or understand it, it can't serve it up in that ambient moment. Makes sense. Step 2.
Step 2 is about being present, partnering with what the article calls context engines.
Context engines.
These are the big platforms in AI systems where this ambient stuff will actually happen. Google's shopping graph, YouTube, Shopify's AI efforts, various plugins for large language models.
Yeah.
You need your products integrated there.
So make it easy for AI to find you, then be where the AI is looking. Got it. Step 3.
Step 3, rethink brand storytelling. The article argues content can't just be, admirable or emotionally resonant in a passive way anymore. It needs to be activatable.
Activatable content. What does that mean?
Your brand stories, your visuals, the scenes you create, they should be designed thinking about how they could lead to an immediate purchase. How does this cool video or image not only inspire someone, but also make it easy for them to buy right then?
So creative work needs to inspire and be ready for instant action. That's strategic. And the last step.
Final step is training your teams to think voice first and video first. And there's a line here in the article that just nails it. The new search bar is a sentence.
Ooh, say that again.
The new search bar is a sentence. People aren't just typing keywords. They're talking to assistants. They're using visual search with their phone cameras.
Yeah.
The way we express what we want is changing. Teams need to get how people will use natural language and images.
The new search bar is a sentence. Yeah, that really captures the shift away from structured queries towards just asking for what you want, how you'd normally say it.
Completely changes how you think about discovery, doesn't it?
It really does. And this whole shift, ambient, visual, context-driven, it got us thinking, how might this ripple into creative fields that aren't usually seen as direct selling channels? Like, your world fashion illustration.
That's a really interesting angle.
Yeah.
Because if commerce is triggered by visual inspiration in the moment, seeing something cool and wanting it now,
Yeah.
then visual inspiration itself, like a fashion illustration, could become a direct trigger for buying, couldn't it? Having someone scrolling, sees one of your illustrations, maybe online, maybe in some digital content, and that drawing just perfectly captures a look, a style, a feeling they love. What if they could just whisper, "Find me that look"?
Whoa. So the illustration stops being just passive art. It becomes activatable content. The lines, the colors, the whole vibe in the drawing. Could AI analyze that?
Potentially, yes. Analyze it to find similar clothes, accessories, maybe put together a whole outfit inspired by the illustration, all ready to buy.
Like the article's example of shopping by scene. Your illustration is the scene.
Exactly. It's a captured visual moment. So the question becomes, how does that illustration need to be made or tagged or presented online so it's ready for that "find me that" whisper? It's a totally new layer for visual creators online. Your art could literally start a purchase.
It really does bridge that gap between pure creative expression and this emerging commerce landscape. It's not just about listing products, it's making sure your creative sparks, your visual ideas are also ready for these ambient moments.
And that loops back perfectly to the article's final bite, which is powerful.
Remind us.
For years, we adapted to the system's search boxes, checkout flows, website menus. Now, the article suggests the systems are finally starting to adapt to us.
Understanding our natural language, our visual cues.
Our moments of inspiration and desire.
Systems adapting to you. That really flips the script on the human-tech relationship in commerce. And it brings us to that core question the article poses. It's not, how do I optimize my funnel anymore?
No. The real question now is, how do I become available the moment I'm wanted?
That's the challenge, isn't it? For everyone from big companies to solo creators. Be present, be responsive, be discoverable in these new frictionless ways. And the source wraps it up by bringing back Emily in Paris. Okay, the show's scripted, sure. But that whisper, find me that bag, that impulse based on seeing something you love.
That part's real. That's how people react. And the tech to fulfill that reaction, it's starting to arrive. It's already happening in pieces.
It's a good reminder. The future isn't waiting around the corner. The pieces are clicking into place right now.
Yeah.
Our own behavior is already leaning that way with voice and visual search.
Definitely.
So, thinking about all this, systems adapting to us, shopping happening in the moment of want, what does your creative spark, your idea, your product, maybe even your fashion illustration, what does it need to do? How does it need to be available right when someone whispers, I need that? What's the big takeaway for you from this deep dive into ambient commerce?
Definitely something to keep mulling over because it feels like these changes are coming thick and fast.